Let me just say that an enormous thanks from the White House team has to go out to Bria Gillum and Zealand Hoover, who have absolutely poured their hearts, their minds, their time into making this day a reality and to continuing on this work for a long time. And so with that, I thank all of you, and I'll introduce our next three speakers, and they'll just come up one after another when they're done giving their pieces. So first you will hear from Ramona Bishop, the superintendent of Vallejo City Unified School District. Second, you will hear from Nancy Hanks, chief of schools, Madison Metropolitan School District. And then finally, you'll hear from Donna Anthony, interim chief, Office of Specialized Instruction, District of Columbia Public Schools. And that's it from me, a proud graduate of State College, Senior High School, State College, Pennsylvania.
Hello, everyone. I count it an honor and privilege to be standing before you here at the White House, especially under this administration. I love President Obama. I just want to say that. I'm Dr. Ramona Bishop. I'm the proud superintendent of the Vallejo City Unified School District in sunny California, right across the water from San Francisco. And I'm here with our president of our teachers union, Sheila Gradwell, and our head custodian at Wiedemann Elementary, and that's Ralph Barnett. We're going to talk, thank you. And we in Vallejo hopefully this is not in my 5 minutes. Are about the business of strategically interrupting the pipeline to prison and building a pipeline to prosperity for all of our young people. Our school district is 32% African American, 32% Latino, 20% Filipino, the rest a mix of white and other Asian. We are incredibly diverse. We have 5 times the amount of African American students in the state. So we're 32%. Our state is 6% African American. We're 5 times the state average in African American students. So we have work to do around the strategic interruption of the pipeline to prison in Vallejo City Unified School District, and we embrace that work. I could talk to you about our full-service community school district or about our 21st century school district, or I could talk to you about our rigorous and relevant curriculum. I could talk about our active community and parent involvement, but instead we'll talk about positive school cultures. They are all intermingled, and we cannot talk about one without the other. You can see that we are implementing all of those practices that you've heard about today. Positive behavior intervention support system-wide, restorative justice as tier 2. You can see something called positive youth justice as tier 3, and you can see full service community schools on the other side for all of our young people. I'm here to talk to you about positive youth justice. It is a project which is really focused in on a specific subset of our young people, and I would ask you all to go back and research these numbers in your local communities. Positive youth justice is about the crossover youth. And crossover youth are those students who have been raised in the child welfare system and they cross over into the juvenile justice system. And you can see that in Vallejo, we have the largest amount in the county of these crossover youth. So we must be very intentional about the work that we're doing with this group of young people. These are actual pictures of the work that we're doing. We are heavily funded by the Sierra Health Foundation in partnership with the California Endowment, and so far have received $275,000. That money is used to have a positive youth justice liaison. What is that? When we started doing the work of interviewing those crossover youth, they said a lot of people come here and talk to us. They want to know all about us. They want to know how we're feeling, and then they never come back. And things stay the same. And so we invested in a person who is working specifically with those 60 plus young people. He goes into the hall when they get in trouble. He comes out with them. He makes sure that they're successful in our schools. And we are to focus in this positive youth justice on those 4 things, and you see them: positive youth development, RAP services, trauma-informed care, and so forth. We are a full-service community school district. We have all of those services in every one of our schools, not just for our crossover youth, but for all of our young people. How many of you know trauma affects all of us at one point or another? And so we have to make sure that we're building a system that ensures that all of our children can be successful in it. And you can see we have we have dental clinics, social workers. Every one of our students has access to these things in school. I want to talk specifically about trauma-informed care. You heard about the ACEs study out of Kaiser. I have the benefit of having Kaiser as a very strong partner. And so when it comes to trauma-informed, not only do I have the partner at the table that did the research, but they're actualizing this work in our schools. How is that happening? Well, Kaiser has rewritten their residency program, so we have medical doctor residents in our schools working with our students not only to screen, but to provide service. And believe it or not, how small is this world that one of the mothers of those medical residents is here in this audience today. We are so excited not only about the fact that we have these residents in our schools, but also about the fact that they are addressing those needs for our young people on a daily basis. Last year we had 6 residents, 1 in every secondary school. Next year it doubles. The following year we'll have 18 medical residents working specifically with Vallejo City Unified School District. Isn't that amazing? In partnership with Kaiser. So Kaiser deserves a big hand clap. Lastly, I'll say that we cannot talk about school culture and climate without talking about what impact it's having on our students. And our job in educational systems is to graduate students. Our job has never been to make sure that students are incarcerated. Our job has never been anything but to graduate students. And so in our school district, when I got there 4 years ago, 1 out of 2 of our students was graduating from high school. Yes, I said it, 1 out of 2, 50%. And now 4 years later, we have 72% of our students graduating from high school. It's not enough, and that does not include last year's numbers, so we look forward to that significant gain. Notice that for our African American and Latino students, almost 20 percentage point increase in 4 years. And that is because of the work. When I had a choice of who should I bring, it is not about me. It is about the work of a community, partners, parents, students, teachers, administrators, and Ralph, I just have to lift up. Let me say one last thing. I told you about that positive youth justice liaison in our high schools, really addressing the needs of the very specific crossover youth population. It is so successful that our schools decided that each one wanted a liaison. But we didn't hire liaisons from outside. We said we have people that are natural connectors with students in our schools. And so Mr. Barnett is the positive youth justice liaison at his school, and he spends additional time with 5 of our students who without him would not be successful in school. It's all about early intervention, making sure that our students have positive role models in school, and then graduating them at the end of the day. I'd like to thank you so much for your kind attention to my comments. I hope that I've added to your repertoire of skills, and I definitely want to uplift every superintendent in here because I know you could have stood and given a best practice. Thank you so much for the opportunity.